Up come the Rams now for their first possession. They'll be led out by a man in his 11th season already as an NFL quarterback. Out of the University of Utah, that's Alex Smith.
Alex Smith is one of my favorite quarterbacks, and I don't mind admitting it. And it's mainly for his perseverance. When you go from the high of being the #1 pick in the entire draft to everyone calling you a bust, to resurrecting your career first in San Francisco and then in Kansas City, he's one of my favorites. I think he can play.
The tight end, Jermaine Gresham, the intended receiver. And it'll be 2nd and 10. To throw is Smith. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And he's brought down. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Well, the coaches mentioned they weren't as concerned about big play offense. They thought they could get some shorter, quicker stuff and be consistent. And that's kind of what they showed there.
What they saw in preparation, what they saw on film, is a defense that likes to get out fast in terms of coverage, meaning they either bail out or they give them a lot of space to throw the underneath stuff, so they decide they take advantage of it and worked on it hard in practice this week. Let's just go ahead and go back through that play with his eyes, because he's got to read his keys. Run or pass right off the top. You're probably going to read an offensive lineman to see if he sets up in pass protection, if he fires out for a running play. The next thing is you're going to check and see what the back's going to do. And if he ends up with the football, okay, now you got to check and see. Does an offensive lineman come downfield and try and block you? Are you going to try to elude him? Are you going to take him on and hold your spot? What are you going to do? In this case, didn't have to do any of that. Saw all of his keys, saw the play in front of him, and ran clean to the ball carrier and finished off the play.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. On the right side, caught by Green. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up 4th down. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
They're going to go for it. It's Smith. He's got his man here. It's Green. 13 yards on the pickup, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. I don't know if I agree with that. I guess they don't care if I agree with that. But, boy, you have to be surprised by that, right?
I definitely was surprised that they decided to go for it in this situation. But they must have either felt like they either had a great play call on or they're trying to show extreme confidence.
On 1st and 10, Smith. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
On 2nd down, Martin. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on 3rd down and 9. Smith. And caught right side, Green. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. 7 yards on the play, and it'll be 4th down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
And look at this. They're keeping the punter on the sideline. They're going to go for it here on the opening drive. Here we go on 4th. Smith. And able to find Green. It's an 8-yard pickup, and they're able to pick up the conversion here on 4th down.
I remember in pregame when we were talking to him on the field, and he took his gloves off and showed us his fingers. A few misshapen ones in there, and now we know why, trying to catch those types of bullets.
That was a dart. Even for a talented receiver, those are tough to hang on to. On the give, this is their fullback. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Good solid gain on 1st down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith looking for the end zone. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
When teams take shots at the end zone, you got to defend it the same way you would defend the first down sticks. You defend the goal line exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You played through the receivers, and on that play, that's exactly what they did, and batted it away.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
He finds his target, Fuller. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the first.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Back to the ground, Martin. And he'll push his way up to about the 14. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. They run it again with Martin. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to win at the point of attack, and on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. That is caught at the 7-yard line. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. But just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense. Smith on 1st down. That's caught at the 2. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. A.J. Green, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Rams take it right down and score on the opening drive.
Could not have scripted it any better. And many offenses do script their opening possession on offense. They followed that one perfectly. Took the ball right downfield and scored, giving energy not just to the offensive unit, but to their team overall.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. So out come the Cardinals now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback from Central Florida. It's Blake Bortles.
I don't care how many accolades you had in college. There's no such thing as a can't-miss quarterback. But Blake Bortles has shown in his time in the NFL that he's a guy that you can build a team around.
Left side, caught by Matthews. The 30, past the 20. And he takes it all the way down to the 3. A big play there on the catch and run. 72 yards. Well, they've been practicing goal line offense all week. Let's see if they're able to capitalize here. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him.
And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Cardinals are just an extra point away from tying this game. Well, that was a quick hitter drive. They had the huge play to get him down near the goal line, and then they run it in. I don't know that the defense ever had a chance to catch their breath.
A lot of the time now, when we see people hit big plays, and each team defines a big play their own way, 10, 15-yard gains. In this case, it was a huge gain. They often want to hurry up and go right away. Keep the momentum going, hit them again, and I think we just saw that there. The second play resulted in pay dirt.
Here's Martin as they begin on the ground. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Back live now to begin the second quarter with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's the Rams with a football to get us going. They've got a 2nd down and 8 to start things out. Marshall, the lone receiver on the left side. Smith, he's got time in the pocket. He sets to fire deep. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
When we talk about Aqib Talib, technique is not the word that comes to mind, but don't worry about that. This guy anticipates as well as anyone in the league, and he did just that, picking off another pass.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
And Matthews over the middle with a grab. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Now Bortles. They're complete. This is Albert Wilson. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there at 22.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. On 3rd and long, it's Bortles. And this is going to be incomplete. Bryce Butler, the intended receiver. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down in bounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The Rams offense now making their way out to take over. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Now a first down throw. It's Smith. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Normally he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store. A shotgun snap for Smith. And this is caught. First catch by Brandon Marshall. And he's brought down. Give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
First down. Here's the run with Martin. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
To throw on second down is Smith. Caught right side, Gresham. And he's brought down after a good gain. They give him a gain of 38.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down. It'll go as a gain of 12. And it'll be a Los Angeles first down. To play in a tightly contested first half. More from the desert after this. Back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Oh, thank you. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, Smith. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. One man on the backfield, that's Martin. Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And this is complete. It's Marshall. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
They'll run forward with Martin. And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. No gain, and it's second down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Marshall, the lone receiver on the left side. On second down, here's Smith. And this one's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal. This could very well be 4-down territory, but right now we focus on 3rd and goal from the 1. Smith going to throw on 3rd, and he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Now here's a timeout defensively coming from the Cardinals. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now, a field goal would break the tie, but look at this. Instead, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal. Here we go on 4th. Smith looking for Green, and it's intercepted. And how about this? It's the other Brandon Marshall that picks it off. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with a game this close, you've got...
And the Rams are going to go ahead and take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here back to his own 6. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. This is Ellington. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. Let's look back now at this closely contested first half. The Cardinals are having trouble slowing down the passing game. The Rams have done great work in that area these last 2 games, and they'll just look to continue that in the second half.
And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it, and they'll take it out to the 25. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up.
Still first down.
They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Working from the gun, it's Bortles. Finding time. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Bortles to throw on second down. Trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. Jordan Matthews, the one he was looking for. And they're going to face a third down. From the gun on third down, Bortles. It's hauled in by Ellington. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
It's a gain of 14 there, and it'll give the Cardinals a first down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw. And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
They'll run it now out of the gun. So a good spin move, but not a whole lot to show after as he's taken down. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
So they're operating in the red zone.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
This will be caught at about the 6. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and goal. Now this will be the 9th play on this drive.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle? It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Here's Bortles to throw, and he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Albert Wilson, his first touchdown on the year. And the Cardinals are in for 6. Now, he's tough to contain as it is, but in man coverage with a pretty deep pass downfield, really tough to contain.
And it's so difficult because every play you've got to consider he might try and run past you. So your goal as a defensive back is to give him plenty of cushion, meaning lots of space between you and him. If he wants to catch the short stuff, come up and secure the tackle, hit him a bunch during the game, and try and keep him in front. If you turn your head for a second, if your concentration wanes,
bye-bye,
he just takes off and goes, and I think that's what we just saw there.
Out come the Rams. They'll have it first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
So much of his game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
Green's got it over the middle. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
Quarterbacks like throwing the slant route, but they have to be careful about ball placement. They have to put it in a spot that makes sure the receiver has his body in front of the defender.
And 3 full yards here for the offense to get on third down. They'll run it. Here's Martin. And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
And that'll be incomplete.
The defensive coordinator came into this game with a plan to get to the quarterback with whatever type of pressure is necessary. It's working to perfection for him today.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 2nd and 10, Smith. And he comes back with one complete. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll lead here to a third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. Too long for a field goal, too short to punt. That in-between range, and they'll go for it on 4th down. They snap it to Smith. He's got his man here. It's Green. It'll be a gain of 6, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd.
Yeah.
After that one.
Here in the 3rd quarter, they were hoping to get the stop, get the football back. Not the case.
What a completion on a 4th down play.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Alec Ogletree. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, surprise, surprise, partner. No, we know it's not a surprise. When you try to complete a pass against this Cardinals defense, there's a reason that they are known as the no-fly zone.
So after the INT, it's Bortles. Room here to run. Now he's hit, and Bortles fumbled. It's loose. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
Another tough one there for Blake Bortles, partner. 2015, led the league in fumbles as a quarterback, had 14 of them. But you just expect that to get better with experience in the league and, of course, better support from his offensive line. In this case, though, he kind of reverted back to that year.
And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. And this time he's got the hookup. It's complete. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Jeff Fisher, a bit of a gutsy call here, says his team's going to go for it on 4th down. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Rams trailing, but they do have the football as we start the 4th and final quarter. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Running for it, here's Martin. Doug Martin unable to fight for the first down. And the Cardinal defense is going to get the football back. They'll run it now out of the gun. What a spin. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Here's Ellington. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
And he will find his man on the outside. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Still in search of the first down after that last completion. It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. On 3rd and long, it's Bortles. Oh, no, he lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden, they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the 4th, a costly turnover. He'll rifle this one deep right side, and he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
While an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play, for the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction. 2nd down now after the incompletion. Marshall, the lone receiver on the left side. Here's Smith, and caught right side, Green. And he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. Charles, on the slant, you always need good ball placement. They got it there. Brandon, the quarterback, put it in the exact perfect spot, right to the upfield shoulder of the receiver, and he used his body to keep the defender away.
On 1st and 10, Smith. And Gresham's got it over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now you can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Well, he did almost everything right. Excellent coverage, breaks on the football, just unable to haul it in and take it the other way, so he dropped an interception. The key for him now, don't dwell on it, just move on to the next play.
2nd and 10, Smith again. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. A very solid gain of 27. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Aqib Talib.
Well, NFL quarterbacks have learned the hard way. You're not going to get rich throwing against this guy. He's definitely too good. And this is now his second interception of the ball game. And if I'm running the offense, I've got to tell my guys, you've got to go work on the other corner.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. So this is the second consecutive week as you look at the numbers that he just doesn't seem to have the same pop as we normally see him with.
Is there an injury we don't know about?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because that's a legitimate question right now. We're used to speed, power, all coming together. And what I've always loved about him is his vision. You know, last week he didn't have that as well. Always thought he was picking the wrong hole to try and run through. And his blockers, they seem to be getting him to the right place, but he picked the wrong spot. We're seeing some of that again this week. Can they snap it together? Can they get back in sync? Because normally we see them go together very, very well.
Bortles now to throw. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. Jeremy Mency in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. That's pulled in at the 32. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially given 15. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better.
On 2nd and 10, Smith. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
And leading here late, so a chance for the defense to really close out this game if they can halt the offense. Smith. And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. Desperation time for Smith on 4th down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Cardinals will now take over with excellent field position.
They won't, and offensively, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, take care of the football and run out the clock. They can't just go and turtle, as we like to call it, just tuck in and just sit on the ball here. Try and get that 1st down and finish the game off.
The Cardinal offense now making their way back out onto the field. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off, and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened.